Cause sometimes I look at her eyes and that's where I find a glimpse of us. And I try to fall for her touch, but I'm thinking of the way it was. Set on fire instead of moon.
Hello guys, I want to up you guys for stop doing anything. That is question we are asking today's topic is the state was ruled by the Taliban. What is country? Can you guess? Yep, correct. Afghanistan. Where is Afghanistan in the world? A country located in the South Central Asia, known officially as the Islamic Republic of the Afghanistan. This country is commonly mistaken by being part of the Middle East. No, again, this country located in the South Central Asia. So it is a misconception only near the Middle Eastern region. Let me tell you Afghanistan history at a glance. Darius I and Alexander the Great were the first to use Afghanistan as the gateway to India. Islamic conquerors arrived in the 7th century and Genghis Khan and Tamerlane followed in the 13th and 14th centuries. In the, in the 19th century, Afghanistan became a battleground in the rivalry between Imperial Britain and Tsarist Russia for control of Central Asia. Three Anglo-Afghan wars ended inconclusively in 1893. Britain established an unofficial border, the Jordan Line, separating Afghanistan from British and India, and London granted for independence in 1990. Emir Amanullah found in Afghanistan monarchy in 1926. A country that has more than 31 million population in 2020 and one of the countries with the largest rivers in the world, which is this is a concern for the countries in the world actually. But we are not talking about rivers today, but we're gonna talk about the terrorists who come from Afghanistan. Okay, I want to answer the question today. The first question is, who are the Taliban? The Taliban are predominantly Pashtun Islamic fundamentalist group that returned to power in Afghanistan in 2021 after waging a 20-year insurgency. Since regarding control, the Taliban have taken action reminiscent of that brutal rule in the late 1990s. They have cracked down the protesters, reportedly detained the beaten journalists, and established their ministry for the promotion of virtue and prevention of vice, which under previous the Taliban rule enforced prohibition and behavior deemed un-Islamic. The Taliban also threatened gains made in Afghan standard of living since the U.S. invasion. UN officials have warned that Afghanistan is facing collapse as the poverty rate climbs, hunger soars, and the economic tanks. Hundreds of thousands of people could flee their homes, joining the millions of Afghans who are already displaced. And the next question: what is impact Taliban terrorists? International observers remain concerned that the Taliban support terrorist organizations, particularly Al Qaeda, posing a threat to regional and international security. The U.S. invaded Afghanistan after it refused to hand over Osama bin Laden, the mastermind of the 9 per 11 attacks. Under the Taliban rule, Afghanistan became a safe haven for terrorists capable of launching attacks against the United States and its allies. Experts say, despite the Taliban statement that Afghanistan soil will not be used against the security of any other countries. When the Taliban ruled Afghanistan, born in the early 1990s, that ruled most of Afghanistan from 1996 until October 2021. The Taliban have returned to power in Afghanistan 20 years after their altered by U.S. troops, sparking concern that they will impose harsh rule, neglect to provide basic service, and abuse human rights. Why U.S. invaded Afghanistan? On October 7, 2001, the U.S. invaded Afghanistan to avenge the Al Qaeda. orchestrated of September 11 terrorist attacks. The primary aim of the U.S. invasion was to hunt down Osama bin Laden and punish the Taliban for providing safe haven to Al Qaeda leaders. How has the world responded to Taliban? Over the 2 decades, government and international bodies joined the US-led effort to oust the Taliban and bolster Afghanistan government, democratic institutions, and civil society in the following ways. As the first is military first. U.S. troops quickly overthrew the Taliban after they invaded Afghanistan in October 2001. The Taliban then waged an insurgency against the U.S.-backed Afghan government. And the second is sanction. The UN Security Council first imposed sanctions on the regime for harboring Al Qaeda in 1999 and expand the sanction after 9/11. They target the Taliban leaders, financial assets, and ban them from most territories. The Security Council is also imposed an arms embargo on the Taliban. The United States and the European Union maintain additional sanctions. And the third is democratic reform and aid. Dozens of countries have provided assistance up to Afghanistan, with 75% in the government republic expenditure covered by grant from international partners. According to 29 2019 World Bank report. However, many Western countries have suspended aid and the World Bank has blocked the Taliban from accessing millions of dollars in the aftermath of the group takeover, risking further economic turmoil. And the fourth is investigation. The Taliban are now under investigation by the International Criminal Court for alleged abuse of Afghan civilians, including crimes against humanity carried out since 2003. U.S. and Afghan forces are also being investigated for alleged war crimes. How the issue to IR discussion. Legitimacy is an odd concept in international relations, in the origin of which has been explored by numerous scholars, from Jean-Jacques Rousseau to Robert Dahl. Nations that navigate their existence by probing popular and external legitimacy, both of which are required to take part in the affairs of state. The denial of legitimacy, evidence in Taiwan and mainland China, has been as an active part of Beijing's strategy at the United Nations, which has had adverse effect on the island, measured in part of diminished international stature and a nagging security dilemma that has narrow windows for diplomacy. Legitimacy in Afghanistan has been a concern for decades and is not is and isn't is a necessary ground in the Weberian sense of the term. The West has had to come to terms with the tradition that legitimize rule in the country, especially when it's based on patriarchy, political kinship, and family and age. Legitimacy recognition serves as important factor for any government to operate independently within the confines of the state and participate in the international system. The recognition of a government allows for several important benefits, such as providing a basis for the acceptance of representative as a diplomat, the ability to into treaties, the reception of the aid and development package, and the access to states assets abroad. The Taliban is aware that without proper external legitimacy and recognition, it will not be able to maneuver effectively to win over the support of the Afghanistan or to craft or join cooperative arrangement with the other states to address a wide array of issues is defense, economic, and social cultural realms. A thought on this issue. I still hope for an independent and peaceful Afghanistan in which people are allowed a better living standard. I still hope Afghanistan state will keep developing and that the international community won't turn its back on us, keeping up good diplomatic, economic, and social and academic relationships. It is important that the international press keeps on covering the situation in the country, even when Afghanistan disappears from the front page and that Afghan voices are heard.